Hey guys, this is Cam315 and I'm back with another video. And here we are with, you know, Flash, episode 2. So let's get into it because this episode was a very, very good episode. And if you ask me, in my opinion, a lot better episode than episode 1, the season premiere. So yeah. Now, I'm making this video after I just saw Arrow and after I just made my Arrow review. But man, all I gotta say is after that Arrow, Jesus. Anyways, we're not talking about Arrow. We're talking about the Flash. So we're here at Flash season 6, episode 2. This episode was basically centered around, I guess, a few key. It had a few side plots. I guess I'll talk about the different side plots real quick before I get to the really main, arc of this episode. But really the side plots were like basically Killer Frost, I guess adjusting to certain things and stuff like that. And basically throughout the episode she was coming across like a total a-hole. And like I know, like, what is it, the episode one of the episode really didn't start off, but they cut to a scene where basically Cisco is at his girlfriend's museum of art, and basically Killer Frost kind of acts like a total jerk and was pretty disrespectful and stuff like that. So yeah, and then she was also like she was disrespectful basically this entire episode until the end, until she basically had that talking to and stuff like that. I thought it was an okay side plot. It's good to see. I'll say this: it is good to get more of a flesh out character for Killer Frost. Something that I guess we desperately need, not desperately, but it's something that we needed to see. So it's looking like we're gonna get more Killer Frost than we do Caitlyn. So yeah. Another side plot was this side plot with really the Allegra girl and the case on stuff like that. So it kind of ties into the main episode where really the main you know attributes of this episode. But I thought it was a nice little side plot too. It had some hicks and it had some little hiccups here and there, but it was a nice little side plot. Um, and then I guess one of the many miniature side plots was, Dr. Ramsey tried to get more of that, I guess dark matter stuff, that do more testing, and he basically ends up using his powers on this one dude, which by the end of the episode he later gets his butt kicked to him tries doing this test on him and stuff like that, and that's basically going to be the main point of next week's episode. So yeah, that's kind of where I can go on from there on. But this episode really focused around, Barry, you know, or I guess learning the lessons of probably never giving up, even when it looks like all hope is lost and when there's no other option to do but the option that is presented, as well as basically trying to, get into the future, look into the future and see the events of basically, what happens after the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. So anyways, one thing before he gets to that, is now he has a mobile Gideon, like a Gideon headset in like his ear. So now Gideon can talk to him and assist him whenever he like asked a question like, yo, what's going on here? And then Gideon can be like, blah 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 blah. Like she did that in the final fight with the radio girl that was framing Allegra, and then also explains that that there was where the reason why Barry couldn't go into the future and see is there was an antimatter barrier that blocked the way of the Speed Force, and it was the and that kind of explained the main reason why, or more information that there is the crisis that is incoming. So he goes to, I believe it was Earth 3, or yeah, no, Earth 2. And sorry if I mess this up, that's my fault. Sorry guys. But he goes to um Jay's Earth, and basically Jay basically tells him like, the same thing, but the difference is, and it's funny because Barry was like, "You're probably gonna critique me why now? Why I'm looking into Speed Force? I'm time traveling." But Jay was like, "I don't blame you," and stuff like that. I'm not gonna judge you. He's like, "I'm actually fine with you doing that," because he wants to find out the same exact thing. because he's been doing some research on his end, and basically his research has been having the same thing where there's been antimatter going around different Earth pathways and stuff like that, and basically it kind of tells him like, yeah, there's something that's coming there. So the supposed crisis is coming, from what he's saying. So, yeah, it's also good to see John Wesley's ship again. And, another, special appearance is the actor that plays Barry's mom. And it was like, oh my goodness. How is Barry gonna react to this? And, she later does find out that, oh, she was the mother of Barry on his Earth. But, I found it kind of ironic how, Jay, who looks like his dad, hooks up with a character that looks like his mom. So yeah, but anyways, um, and really, how can I say how can I say this? You know, in order to find, to basically bypass the antimatter stuff, basically Jay says if you can't do it with your speed, let's try with your mind. So Barry wearing Jay's helmet with a little plug-in stuff. Basically, you know, when they turn it on, basically Barry pulls a Doctor Strange from Avengers Infinity War. If you ask me, man, there were not only Flash and Arrow, not only Flash, but Arrow had the same thing. There was so many like I guess references to Avengers Infinity War. When I upload my Arrow review tomorrow, you'll basically get the gist of that. But technically, it's also in here too. So like I said, they make Barry pull literally Doctor Strange, where he sees multiple or millions and thousands of and billions of different timelines of the crisis event that happens. And in every crisis event, he sees all his friends being, basically vaporized or, turned into dust due to this thing. Due to this, like, I guess, red, like, pressure force that's going at them, and it's just, disintegrating them, you know, dusting them, stuff like that. It was insane. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Also, a quick little point I have to make. So in the little, side by sides, they show basically Barry's friends, like, Iris, Caitlin, Ralph, Cisco, Joe, and stuff like that. They show all the people that mean a lot to Barry and see them get basically, disintegrated and, or I'm gonna say dusted. Um, there was an interesting tidbit that I saw when it was Killer Frost, Ralph, and Cisco all running away from it, but they still get disintegrated. The thing about Cisco, which piqued my eyes and saw my eyes, is Cisco's wearing his vibe costume. So, like some people predicted, Cisco will be more than likely be getting his powers back. And it's looking like from this point, at this point, it's looking like for the crossover, he's going to get his powers back because he was wearing the vibe costume. So he's arguably gonna get his powers back at that time. So, yeah. And so that entire sequence ends off with basically Barry seeing himself do the thing we see in the comics where he runs so fast that he basically, you know, poof, gone. And he basically saves the world from Crisis on Infinite Earths because he and man, was that a callback not only to the last freaking crossover, but Jesus, was that emotional as hell. So yeah. And after that, they unhook him because he can't take it no more and stuff like that. And basically, he comes down with like this thing that basically, he won't whenever he moves, like he's pain. But Jay and his wife tells him that you'll be able to move in like less than a day. Now, technically not because he later fights later that night of the episode and stuff like that. And basically in that fight with with that radio wave girl and stuff like that, who was basically, doing crazy stuff. That's when he basically has, the courage to not give up and stuff like that. And that was kind of how the whole episode, was centered around because, him and Iris had a little bit of an argument about that stuff and she basically stormed off like saying like that's not the Barry Allen I know. You wouldn't give the Barry Allen I know would not give up even when things look desperate and stuff like that. And it's funny too because they even had a little, argument issue between another married couple and Joe and Cecile, basically over the girl's confirmation if she's guilty or not of Allegra and stuff like that. I thought that plot line with Cecile was pretty good too. So yeah. Um, but other than that, Flash saves the day. You know, Barry and Iris talk about like, we need to prepare the team, for this crisis and also potential, case for the Flash not being here and stuff like that. Another thing, quick tip point as the episode kind of ends off, because I already talked about the Dr. Ramsey stuff, and that's going to tie into next week's episode. But you know, another thing that was kind of a tie that was another one of the ending things is that Cecile was when she was talking to Joe about that stuff. Cecile was like, you know what, Joe, maybe you're right. So Cecile basically, from looking at my notes, is at the end of the episode, she tells Joe that she wants to be the defense attorney for metahumans because she's a metahuman herself and she wants to basically vouch for them. So if there's like saying an undue wrong, if a metahuman gets trying or is like literally gonna get incarcerated and go to prison, she can try to dig into evidence and basically support the metahuman reasons. Now, obviously, she's not going to tell like other people, like, yeah, I'm a metahuman myself. But she wants to be the defense attorney for metahumans. I think that's pretty interesting where they're taking Cecile from that standpoint because basically she can read the minds of people and what they're thinking. And also another last thing, I have to say before I end this video off is that Allegra, the girl that was framed for wrong, she later explains in the episode to Joe that she basically wants to be like a reporter type of character and stuff like that. So yeah, so Allegra by the end of the episode, joins as an intern in Iris's, basically newspaper, company. So her thing is slowly, so her little company thing, her little newspaper group is slowly growing and stuff like that. Then so it's Iris, Cisco's girlfriend, and basically now Allegra is in the group. So the question is, will Allegra eventually know Barry's secret identity and interact with Star Labs? I highly doubt it, but I wouldn't be shocked because Jesus, Barry's always showing his identity to almost everybody he comes across again, or anybody who's like literally, you know, integrated within Team Flash issues and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they take that Allegra plot line too. I don't think they're gonna do much with the character, but I think they'll do it to where it's like she helps Iris along the way when it comes to the newspapers. And like I said, she's really only an intern, so yeah. Other than that, it was a pretty good episode. I know there was a comment on my last Flash episode. He basically ranked it like it was an 8 out of 10. I guess I can go with this episode. I think I would say it was another 8 out of 10 episode. Um, you know, it was good, but it wasn't like phenomenally good. But still, the aspects of everything that they put in this episode were pretty good. Um, but like I said, that's really it on the Flash episode. So next week, it's looking like Dr. Ramsey's gonna go to the Flash for help to stop basically the person he was experimenting on. Has basically come back, I guess, from the dead and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see where they take that. So yeah. But other than that, I thought tonight's episode of The Flash was a lot better than last week's episode, in my opinion. I wasn't. It's like I said. I know I said in my last review is that I did like last week's episode. I just didn't think it was my cup of tea episode. I still thought it was a good episode and stuff like that. But yeah. Other than that, it was another good episode tonight, and I can't wait for next week. So all the shows are now in full motion. They're kicking all the way to this crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. So yeah, now basically, they kind of tease more into, you know, Flash and Arrow, and I kind of see it as more of a dynamic between those two shows because not only it was crazy because they were back to back, but not only Barry, thinks he's going to die, but they also tease like Oliver dying. I forgot to mention that on my Arrow review. So, like I said, this video is gonna, go up tonight. So if you see this and you want to check out my Arrow review tomorrow, you already know that basically there's a nice little parallel between the Flash and Arrow on both their main lead characters, basically saying, "Oh, I'm gonna die," but no, I'm gonna die, and we'll see who's gonna die. We'll see. It's gonna be something sad. Now I won't be shocked if somebody gives up somebody's life for somebody to live, but we'll see where it goes from here on. So other than that, this has been your Flash Season 6, Episode 2 review. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to put something in the comment section to explain more about this episode, or what your thoughts on the episode were, put a comment in that comment. I'm always obliged to read your comments and see what I thought about what you guys said. And if you want to get more Flash CW content, as well as the other CW TV shows, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get basically Supergirl and Arrow reviews. As like I said, Supergirl you get every Sunday night, Flash you'll get every Tuesday night, and Arrow you'll get every Wednesday night. As for Batwoman and Black Lightning, I wasn't planning. I said I would do a review, but actually I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll give a retrospective of those seasons when we hit the crossover. So expect those, my thoughts on how the season's going for those two shows and stuff like that. But all in all, in my opinion, I think all the CW TV shows are doing really well and stuff like that. I'm into all of them, even, I guess not the least favorite show out of all of them, which is Batwoman. I'm into it as well. I think it's pretty good, and I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. But like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about our opinions on episodes and stuff like that. So other than that, that's really it. So basically, this is it. So if you only see my Flash content, I guess I'll be seeing you guys next Tuesday night. So other than that, till then, catch you guys on the next video. Have a great night.